The first body wasn't found outside. It was dragged just far enough into the barn that the others would have to step inside to see it. In the snow behind them, the same set of footprints still led only toward the house, never away. And by the time they realized the killer hadn't left, the footsteps were already coming from inside. In the cold morning outside the farmhouse, Andrea studies the footprints that lead from the forest and stop at the door, unsettled by how they deepen near the entrance, as if something stood there for a long time before entering. Inside the kitchen, Maria notices faint wet marks extending further into the house, appearing where no one has stepped. By afternoon in the barn, Joseph climbs toward the hayloft after hearing movement, but the air thickens unnaturally, pressing against his chest, as the hay shifts without cause. As he reaches the top, his breathing suddenly stops, and he collapses silently, as if the air itself has been taken from him. That evening in the barn, Andreas enters searching for Joseph, calling out for him. Just then a low vibrating hum builds around him, growing stronger with each step. The sound tightens around his head until he drops instantly, the hum vanishing the moment he hits the ground. In the same evening inside the barn, Carl rushes in after Andreas, but the door slams shut behind him, as the temperature drops sharply, his breath turning visible in the dark. An unseen force drags him backward across the floor into shadow, his movement stopping abruptly, as silence takes over. During night in the kitchen, Maria and Kazilia sit in fear, as the lamp flame bends unnaturally toward the doorway, stretching as if pulled by something unseen. Maria rises slowly, but her body stiffens mid-step, her breath cut off, as if something tightens around her throat, and she collapses without a sound. The same night in the kitchen, Kazilia begins praying aloud, her voice trembling as the air around her tightens, and the unseen presence presses close. As her prayer grows steadier, the pressure suddenly lifts, the room returning to stillness, as if whatever was there has withdrawn from her completely. Later in the night hallway, Victoria walks alone through the house, calling out softly, her voice echoing in a way that doesn't match the space, as if it's being repeated from somewhere unseen. Footsteps pass beside her without form, moving ahead of her down the corridor, as though guiding her deeper inside. In the late-night bedroom, Victoria sits on the edge of the bed as the room subtly distorts, the shadows stretching too far, the silence unnaturally complete, while a faint whisper begins within her breathing. Her lips begin to move slightly out of sync with her breath, as if something inside her is learning how to speak. Moments later, Kazilia enters slowly, calling Victoria's name with relief, but stops as she notices Victoria sitting unnaturally still, her back straight, her head slightly lowered. The room feels heavy again, the same pressure returning, but this time, it is centered entirely around Victoria. In the same late-night bedroom, Victoria slowly lifts her head and turns, her expression empty, as her voice emerges layered with something else, repeating words not her own. Kazilia immediately begins praying again, louder now, but this time the pressure tightens instead of retreating, lifting her slightly off the ground, until she goes completely still, while Victoria remains standing, unmoving, and moments later her body collapses as well, leaving the house in total silence. The footprints never showed anyone leaving, because no one ever did. Whatever came from the forest entered only once, and never needed to step back out. It stayed unseen, moving through the house as if separate, until the moment it no longer needed to hide inside Victoria, at all. The footprints were never the danger, they were just the only part that could be seen, while everything else had already entered, and stayed hidden. Like and follow, because some stories don't warn you when something arrives.